Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Can you hear me? Please confirm in the chat box. Thank you. Vikram, Jagruti, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your responses. Let's stop the chat. In the last session, we already have created infrastructure to experience the power of Ansible. Isn't it? We have created server 1, server 2, server 3. I have the infrastructure ready with me. I already have logged into my AWS account. I already have logged into my AWS account. You can see here we have controller machine, server 1, server 2, and server 3. So the infrastructure what we have created in our previous session, the infrastructure what we have created in our previous session is server 1, server 2, server 3, and we have one machine called as a controller machine. We have an additional machine called as a controller machine. Sitting in a controller machine, you are able to communicate to the nodes. These are called as managed nodes. You are able to communicate to nodes and then perform related configurations. Okay, so we have created this infrastructure. Today's session, we will learn how can we perform configurations using modules. We have several modules in Ansible. We'll read out modules which are available in Ansible, and we'll start practicing we'll start practicals of how can we use these modules and perform configurations to the managed nodes. This is our agenda for today's session. So our agenda, in how many ways we can perform the configurations? In two ways. One is by writing the commands, the other one is playbooks. Okay, so what are the modules available in Ansible? We'll be starting few modules. We'll be learning about how to create our own inventory file. We already have discussed about inventory file. So this is about creating custom inventory file, working with possible modules like shell module, user module, APT module. So these are our plan for our today's session. So as usual, before getting into the concepts of today's session, let's have an interaction this time with Kumar Raja.
Sunil.
Yep. Yes, Kumar.
My doubt is regarding the previous sessions related to Docker.
Okay.
So it's like I am doing some R&D on that.
Okay.
Scripting PHP, simple PHP page.
Okay.
But, when I'm using the Java T point that PHP example. So in that I got
Which example?
There is simple example in java-t-point.com.
Okay. Okay.
So in that I got stuck at that Apache 2D foreground. I don't know what's happening there.
Apache 2D?
2D foreground. At that
foreground.
I got stuck. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't know what to do because as per the example, it should open a browser. I've seen that
probably you are trying to build a small web page using PHP.
Yes.
Agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
just a PHP application, or you are using any backend application also? It's only PHP application.
Yeah, simple PHP application with
it's a simple pages.
Just a simple hello PHP page.
Okay. So what is the error you're facing?
It's just getting stuck. I don't know because I have enough space. Still, it's getting stuck at.
Space could not be a problem because it is just a PHP page, right?
Yeah. It's just saying that Apache 2D foreground, command line Apache 2D foreground, and it gets stuck in there. But as per example, it should open a web browser. I don't know why it's happening.
Not sure, Kumar Raja. Send me the URL in the email, in my email. Okay.
Okay.
I'll check it.
Okay,
Kumar.
Yeah, because I'm seeing for being a DevOps, we need some scripting also. There's so that's why I'm practicing PHP and Python.
PHP. Okay, Kumar, send me the URL. I'll check it. Okay. URL of what one? Just Java T point.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Azam.
Sir, good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, I have multiple questions. First, from Docker, what is Docker attach and Docker execute? What is difference between them? I don't see Docker attach. I used to attach the container.
Difference between Docker?
Docker attach and Docker execute.
Docker?
Execute.
Yes. Docker attach is generally used for Linux operating systems. Okay. a Linux based operating system, if you are running to a container which is running on the background, we have seen this command Azam when we are learning about the concept of volumes, isn't it?
Yes,
So when a container is running on the volume, okay. Hello,
yes, sir.
Azam,
Yes.
when your
Yes, sir.
container is running on the volume, if you want to connect to a container which are running on the volume, we have used Docker attach, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Docker attach will work because the backend already shell terminal will be working. As shell is working, the attach will work. Docker attach will not work for other containers like Tomcat or something like that. Okay. So
Okay.
you have to enter into interactive terminal, then you have to use the Docker execute for rest of all the different types of containers. Okay, Azam. For
Means,
operating system
to
based
start.
containers, when operating system based containers like Ubuntu or SUSE Linux or Red Hat, for those OS based containers, the background process will be shell process, so attach will work. For rest of the containers, attach will not work. You have to use execute.
Okay,
Okay.
means running container can be used attached, right?
Running container, that is also, that container should be a Linux based container.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Linux based container we
Then
use
only
attached.
attach will work. Otherwise, we have to use Docker execute.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
One more question, sir.
Yes.
In the last session we had Saturday, on Saturday, so we gone through code analysis and Nexus, right?
Code?
So, Nexus and SonarQube. We
We're
learned.
talking about the project session which we have done it
Yes,
on
sir.
Saturday.
Yes, yes, sir. So I'm a little bit confused about unit testing and code analysis. Is it both same and different?
Unit testing is done manually by the developer. Okay. Without depending on any
It's
third
not
party
part of
tools.
DevOps team.
No,
right?
it's not without any depending on any third party tools. Doing testing by himself is unit testing. Okay.
Okay, okay. The code analysis is
Code
by
analysis is
SonarQube.
a separate tool. Okay, where it will analyze whether the quality of the code is correct. That itself is separate. Okay.
What use of Selenium, sir? Selenium is testing tool, right?
Selenium is a testing tool, which is an automation tool, which helps in automatic testing.
So Selenium and code analysis both work same, right?
Completely different. Both are different.
Then at what stage Selenium works?
Selenium tool is purely related to testing team. They want to test a particular application using testing scripts. They use Selenium. It's altogether a completely pure testing tool.
Okay.
Code
Okay.
analysis is just analyzing source code. That's it. Whether your code is perfectly running. I mean, is the variables perfectly used or not? Okay, is there any problem with some variables or any indentation problems or is there any? It's pure about source code analysis. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So that's a third part.
Okay.
Both are completely different. Okay. Perfect. So in how many ways? In how many ways we can perform configurations? Okay, we can perform configurations in Ansible in two ways, as the slide says. In two ways from the control machine. As you know, we always work from the controller machine and we connect to servers and then perform configurations. If anybody asks you in how many ways we can perform configurations using Ansible in two ways, one is by using the, as the slide says, one is by using the commands, the other one is by using the playbook. To start with, we will be learning how can we perform configurations using the commands. When you're perfect with the how can we perform configurations in commands, then we go with the second way of performing configurations, that is playbooks. Playbook is more powerful way, more in fact a preferred way of performing configurations, but we cannot directly jump into learning playbooks. First, you should be familiar with commands. Once you're familiar with commands, then understanding playbooks will become much easier. So let's spend some time. So let's then spend some time to understand to learn how can we perform configurations on the nodes using the commands. As I have just mentioned, we can perform the configurations in two ways, by using the commands. The other one is by using the playbooks. So these are all the important modules. We will be using modules in the commands. Look at the modules. I'll read the names of the modules. Command module, shell module, ping module, user module, copy module, fetch module, file module, stat module, stands for statistics, debug module, apt module, yum module, git module, replace module, service module, include module, URI module, Docker container, Docker image, Docker login, and setup. These are all what modules. We have listed modules in Ansible. These modules, we use it in commands. We don't directly use modules. These modules, we use it in commands, and then commands which help in performing configurations.
So
By looking at the 1 minute, by looking at the name of the module, once we start practicals, Anuj, you'll understand how exactly the difference between module and a command.
right.
By looking at the name of the module, you can easily understand what that module can do. You should be in position to guess it. When you are successfully guessing it, you will never forget it. By looking at the name of the module, you have to understand what exactly this module can perform. Okay, so let's do that. To start with command module. This module is used for executing basic Linux commands on the node. Anuj, in the last session, we have executed some commands. I think we have executed a command called free command to know the memory information of node 1, node 2, node 3, isn't it, Anuj?
Right.
This is what command? This is a Linux command.
Right.
We have executed Linux commands. So these kind of Linux commands, if you want to run it on the node, then we use which module? Command module.
Command module.
Shell module. Looking at the name, you can easily guess it. Use it to execute commands which are involved in redirection, piping, and executing shell scripts. You want to run some shell script in node 1, node 2, node 3. When you want to run a shell script, we go for using a shell module.
Shell module.
Ping module. This module is used to check whether the remote server is pingable or not. You want to check whether I'm able to communicate to server 1 or server 2 or server 3. If you want to check is the controller connected to a particular node or not, you can do that by using which module? Ping module, isn't it? In networking, we will use ping command to check whether they're connected or not. The same thing can achieve by using the ping module. User module. By looking at the name, you can easily guess. Use this module used for performing user management, like creating user, setting the password, assigning home directory. So if you want to create a user in a node 1, node 3, node 4, node 1, node 2, node 3, then we use which module? Obviously, user module for performing user management operations. Clients, as I mentioned, clients will have huge number of instances, Anuj. Okay, you will. So as I already have shown you, Netflix is maintaining how many instances? EC2 instances? 100,000 instances.
100,000, right?
Okay. There are many clients who are having 5,000 instances, 10,000 instances. Frankly speaking, even 100 instances will be difficult to manage, Anuj.
Right.
Okay, if there are 100 instances, you want to create a user in 100 instances, it takes a lot of manpower. It's a time-consuming process. Agree or not?
Correct.
So they have no other option. They have to depend on configuration management tools, which helps in easily configuring the remote servers in single shot. Okay, so that is the importance of it and the power of it. Every client who is on cloud, when a client is moving to cloud, that means definitely the client is a medium to big client. Even small clients move to cloud, but with respect to number of instances, every client will have more number of instances. So they have to depend on configuration management tools to reduce the manpower. So user related operations, user module, copy module. This module is usually used to copy files from the controller. We have some file in a controller. You have one file and you want that file to be copied into node 1, node 2, node 3. Copy module will make it very handy. Fetch module. Fetch module is opposite to copy module. It is used to get the files from the nodes to the controller. That is fetch module. File module used for performing, creating, deleting, and managing the files. If you want to create some files, manage the files, create directories, they have a special module called as file module. Static string module to get the detailed information about the files and folders present in the nodes. All this we'll see practical. Debug module to display output of any particular module. APT module. APT is a repository name.
Repository, right.
Used for performing package management. Whenever you want to install some software in 100 nodes, obviously APT module needs to be used. It is used for installing softwares or updating the softwares from the repositories. You have to use APT module. Similar to APT module, we have also M module. M module we have to use it when you're dealing with Red Hat, Linux, Red Hat, Linux, and CentOS, these kind of. Okay. Git module used for performing buffer version controlling on the manager. So we'll see it. Replace module is used to replace a specific text in the configuration file. Where exactly this replace module will use, we'll see it practically. In Word document, we have replace, isn't it? Option, isn't it? Control H. A specific word can be replaced with some other word, isn't it, Anuj? Same thing
Right.
happens. So sometimes configurations, you want to make some changes. Some port number, you want to change it to some other port number as per the client requirement. We will be doing it using replace module. Service module, as the name suggests, is used for starting, stopping, and restarting the services. Include module is related to playbooks. When we learn about playbooks, we'll understand about include module. URI module to check whether a URL is reachable or not, whether a link is reachable or not. From the notes, you will be using it by using URI module. And there are some modules related to Docker container, Docker image, Docker login, and Docker setup. These are what? Not commands, these are modules. My dear friends, these are not commands, these are modules. These modules, we will use it in commands. Okay, let's explain. Right. Let's experience the first.
Sunil, before we proceed,
yes,
what this module is actually? Is it a program?
Modules are nothing but predefined. You can visualize as something like predefined methods, which has some specific functionality. Anuj, okay. Every software will have predefined software, predefined methods. Whenever we call, whenever we want to act, have that functionality done, we call that method, isn't it? Something similar to it.
So in short, a module, when we install Ansible, it comes with a
With
package,
all these
lots
modules.
of modules,
Exactly.
Right? Okay. Can we see that where that module is there?
You need to look at the documentation. Ansible documentation.
Okay. So if I compare module, it's just like a template which accepts values which we provide it in runtime.
Yes, you are right. So
just like
you can say it as a function.
Okay, just like a sticker which paste on our copy, it has predefined name, subject, class, school.
Right.
Templates are there, and we need to fill it. And for every task, we have a different sticker.
Module.
Just like every task, file, copy, and everything like that.
You say it as template. You can say it as a function. You can say it as an abstract. Okay.
Could be.
And it's up to our definition. Okay. But finally, it has a specific functionality.
Got it.
Which will actually, when you invoke that particular module, it achieves a specific functionality based on the parameters what you have passed. Okay.
Right. So even the ad hoc does not run without a module. It also accepts module.
Which one?
Ad hoc commands.
Commands use modules.
Right.
Look at this. Look at the first command. When you look at the first command, it will be very clear.
Yeah, please proceed with example.
Look at the first command. The first command is very, very important. I want to compare the first command with the last command which you have used in the last session. What was the last command we have used on the Friday session? I think so. Go back to the previous days. This is the last command. I'm writing it together in a complete file. This is the last command which I executed, isn't it, Ramesh?
Right.
Okay, so as of now, I'm keeping this aside. We also have executed one more command. I hope you remember it or not.
Yep.
Free command. Okay, so this was the commands which we have executed in the last session, but let's compare with this particular session. This is the first command I'm showcasing you. Every Ansible command starts with the keyword Ansible. Every Docker command starts with the keyword Docker. Similarly, every Ansible command starts with the keyword Ansible. Ansible all. That means, Anuj, I want to run this command in all the nodes. Okay. I stands for inventory file. I want to run this command in all the nodes present in the inventory file.
Right.
Do you remember when we have configured Ansible, there was an inventory file called as host file. We have mentioned the IP addresses of the 3 nodes in the host file.
Right.
This means I am clearly mentioning that I want to run an Ansible command in all the nodes present in this particular inventory file. M stands for module. M stands for module. I want to use which module? Command module. Go back to command module. What is the purpose behind the command module? Command module is used for executing basic Linux commands. Okay, very good. So come back to command module.
Right.
And then A stands for arguments. What is the free is a Linux command. So when you run this command, this is the syntax of Ansible command. Let's connect to controller machine. Ansible 9.1. It's not there in this location. Here. Sorry, this is also not available. Desktop PPK. Connected to controller machine. Running the first command. I repeat, every Ansible command starts with the keyword Ansible. I'm clearly mentioning that I want to run this command in all the machines present in this specific inventory file. And the module what I want to use is command module. We already know the command module purpose is to run the basic Linux commands. Definitely it gets works and you get the memory information. We are getting the memory information from node 1, node 2, node 3. Clear, Anush?
Right.
Anuj, can you tell me what this command will do?
It will create a file. That's file 1.
File 1 is the name of the file that creates it.
File, right.
Node 1, node 2, and
node 3. So in post running this, just run one command to run it on only 2 hosts.
1 minute, I'll show you. Yes. You're getting it running on work. This is not a free command to give you a report of memory information. File gets created, isn't it? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So it is created in node 1, node 2, and node 3. You can see the IP addresses. The first point of observation you have to do, very important point of observation you need to keep in mind. Whenever you run an Ansible command, when the Ansible command executes and made some changes to the nodes, the response will be in yellow color. When you're getting the result in yellow color, that means you have to understand that the command has been executed successfully and made changes to the node. Before running the command, the status of the node is different. After running the command, the node status was different. Before running the command, there was no file with the name file1. Now the file has been created. So when the command has been successfully executed and made some changes in the node, in that case, you get the response in the response in the yellow color. So
if we run it again we'll not get yellow because touch 1 is already created.
You will not get it in yellow color. Okay, we'll see it. I want to check really, is it really Ansible command is working correctly on node or not? So you can, anyways, passwordless connections are already defined between the nodes. So I can SSH to any particular IP address, isn't it? Any particular node, Anuj, isn't it? I can check whether the really file has been created or not. The moment you're getting a response in yellow color, you don't need to doubt on it. So I'm anyways going to that particular manager node. Yes, and now I'm clicking on ls. Are you able to see the file which has been created? Yes. Exit to come back to again controller machine. Okay, I have successfully executed this first example. In this first example, what we have learned, my dear friends, is we have used a command module to run some basic Linux commands. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Let's do one more example. I'm coming back to that example of only two nodes, Anuj. I will answer your question after 10 minutes.
No problems.
I want to install Docker. I want to install Docker in node 1, node 2, node 3. Anuj. If you want to install Docker, do you remember the site is get.docker.com?
Right.
And you need to pick up these two commands, the first two commands. And observe, first two commands are related to .sh. These are shell commands.
Shell command.
So you have to use which module? Shell module.
Shell module.
So basing on the task, what you want to do, immediately you need to pick up the module. So shell module is used for related to shell scripts on the node. So yes, I want to install Docker on node 1. Okay. Node 2, node 3. Yes. I picked up those commands. Try to understand. Anuj, Ansible all. What does it mean?
So running on all nodes.
I refers to
That's
inventory file.
inventory file.
And where is the inventory file? Obviously, inventory
etc
file is
Ansible
nothing
host.
but the Ansible
Right.
host. This host
Right.
file is nothing but inventory file. Hyphen name refers to module. Which module we are using?
Shell.
Module. A stands for arguments. No matter you're using
Arguments.
command module, shell module, A stands for arguments. This is the first command.
Right.
Get hyphen docker.sh. You know it. This is the same command I have copied, and then the other one is get hyphen docker.sh. This is 2 commands. I'm running it. So assuming that if you want to install Docker in n number of machines, it becomes very, very handy for you. What is the output? Expected color? Anush?
Yellow.
Yellow. Perfect. Next. Again, the output you get it in yellow. It will take some time because the Docker needs to be installed in node 1, node 2, and node 3, isn't it? Yeah. So let's wait for the response. Yes, Maheshwara.
Sorry, it is some other doubt actually. So we have Docker Swarm, am I right? Again, actually, it is the independent choice of using the tools. Is it like
the client can use Docker Swarm? Client can also use Kubernetes.
Okay.
Okay, it's up to the client. Okay.
But one general doubt, Sunil, from the beginning of DevOps, I'm seeing there are a lot of things to remember. Do you think is it easy to remember all these things actually? It's like for a single person actually.
Yeah. I mean, once you have the conceptual knowledge, you can easy. Okay, do have a conceptual understanding and do hands-on. It will be obviously easy. Okay.
No need to memorize, is it?
You don't need to memorize it. Yes. No. But you should be in a position to answer it, right? Let's, for example, what is the inventory file? You have to say it as a host file. Okay. So
Right.
this is something important.
Lot of commands, am I right? Because from Docker, from Swarm, and
you have a lot of commands. That is the reason I am always giving you a logical approach to remember the commands. Okay, so that makes it easy. Okay, but you have to do it when you say that I worked. When you say that you worked, so you're expected to answer this, Maheshwara. Okay.
Okay. Still, how many classes left for this?
Ansible will take approximately 3 days, to my knowledge, 2 to 3 days. Okay.
Right.
And then after that, Kubernetes will take approximately 4 days. And Nagios will take 1 more day. Okay. So these are the number of them. Yeah, right. Nakate. Dontiram Nakate. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing well. Are you from Maharashtra?
Yes, sir. From
Yes. Pune. Okay.
So we are working with the limited setup right now. We are working with 3 instances. If we have the more than 100 instances,
okay.
How to is it possible to check it manually? How we change that it is changed in yellow color?
The first point. Even though there are 3 instances or 100 instances, the experience remains the same. Okay, don't you get the rest. The moment you're getting, that is the reason. The moment you're getting in yellow color, it is understood that command has been executed
successfully.
Okay, you don't need to worry about that. Okay.
Clear.
So something has been changed.
In any instance, if any instance is not get the command run successfully.
Yes. So to overcome the drawbacks, we have playbooks. Okay. Okay. This can be overcome using playbooks. Whatever the hindrances, we have it in commands. What you're saying, let's say if there are 100 nodes, it's very difficult to know whether maybe 90 nodes it has been executed successfully. Configurations 10 nodes it has been not executed successfully. Isn't it?
Correct.
So
manually it is hectic.
Playbook becomes handy for you. Okay, you have to wait.
Okay, done.
Clear about how exactly Ansible is now performing configurations. Okay. Now, now you can see Dondiram, you're getting it in yellow color. Okay.
Right.
It is in you can see here yellow color in node 1. Okay. Changed is nothing but the command has been executed on the node and made some changes. Okay, not just executing, the command has made some changes. So this is the second node. This is second node. I think this is first node. Sorry.
First node.
And
13, 15, and 113.
What happened? It should do it on 3 nodes, right?
Yeah.
Did you miss anywhere? This is 15. Okay. 113,
Yes.
3.15, 10.15, right?
10.15.
Oh, sorry. Looks like it has done it on only through 2 nodes. Wait.
Yeah, this is the question. How to
1 minute,
verify?
1 minute. That's what.
Yeah,
That there
sure.
comes the role for the playbooks, as I mentioned. This is line 1. .15. Okay. Is it on 2 nodes?
Yes, it is 2 nodes, Sunil.
Impossible.
113 and 15.
It cannot be like that. It's on 113. .15.
Now 3.15.
3.15, right?
3.15. Yeah.
3 nodes. Yeah, I don't need to verify. You can go to one specific manage node. I don't need to do that. The moment you're getting in response in yellow color. Got it, Anuj?
So
It has been
yellow
successfully
means
configured.
commands executed successfully and something
Made
has been
some change in the node.
If there is no change, then it will not be yellow.
It will
Some
not be
different
yellow. We
message.
will see it. We'll see it. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
The syntax of the command Ansible all. Okay. All if you want to run on all the machines.
Right.
Not all the machines. You can also mention the group name. That means you want, let's say, you want to run it only specific group of machines. In that case, you have to mention the group name. Or you want to only configure one machine, you have to hardcode the IP address of that particular one particular machine. Got it? I stands for inventory file, and you have to mention the very exact inventory style. M for module name. A stands for argument. This is the syntax. Okay.
Right.
Next. Ansible command module to check the memory information. We already have seen this. Memory information from node 1, node 2, node 3, isn't it? Next.
Right.
The default inventory file is having how many IP addresses?
3.
3 IP addresses. Now coming to your question, Anuj, you want to configure only 2 machines only out of 3 machines. You want to configure only 2 machines. So what I'll do, pick up those IP addresses in which you want to configure. You don't want to configure all the machines. You want to configure only 3 out of 2, only 2 machines out of 3. So I'm opening the host file. So let's say I want picking up these 2 IP addresses, Anuj, because I want to run it on only those 2 machines. Okay. Now these are the IP addresses which I have picked up just for your reference. And now using VI editor, I am creating my own file. Okay. What's the file name?
My inventory.
File name can be anything. It can be ABC, XYZ, or your name or my name. File name, it's not a problem. I'm creating my own file. Sorry. I'm creating my own file. In this file, I go to insert mode. Sorry. What I mentioned, these 2 IP addresses. Right. And then you can easily verify your inventory file is having how many IP addresses?
2 IP addresses.
You can also read that by using cat command. 2 IP addresses now.
Right.
Ansible all, I stands for inventory file. What is my inventory? Inventory is nothing but the file name.
Right.
That means you're clearly mentioning that I want to run the Ansible command in this inventory file. This inventory file is having how many IP addresses?
2 IP addresses.
2 IP addresses. That means this particular free command will execute only 2 times.
Right. And this my inventory is created at the same place in the same path.
Yes, that's the
etc.
reason you are not writing the full path. If it is in a different location, you have to point out the full path. Okay. Got it.
Sunil, once
One
install
minute. Now
Ansible.
clear. Now first point. Is it running on only 2 machines?
Yes. Perfect.
Yes. Because this is a inventory file which you are. This is a custom inventory file. Okay, not the predefined inventory file. What is the predefined inventory file? Host file.
Host file.
So this is a custom like this. You can create your own inventory file and then you can mention that I want to run this on specific inventory. Clear? Clear about this?
Right.
Yes. Now your question.
So if I don't mention any name, it will pick up the default one.
Default one. That's the next point.
Host.
If you do not mention the inventory file, it takes the default inventory file. Ansible all. I'm not specifying. So last session, that's what I'm referring to last example. In the previous session, I have not, did I mention -i or something like that?
No, nothing.
Because I want to make the concept clear. I want to know the power, show you how exactly Ansible communication happens. But this is a concept. When you don't mention any inventory file, it takes up the default inventory file. The default inventory file is nothing but host file. So obviously it runs on 3 machines. The default module of Ansible is command module. So if you don't mention -m also, by default, it will consider as what module?
Command
module. So again, I'm drilling down to the previous example of the last session. So I'm not specifying any inventory file. I'm not specifying any module. I'm just writing Ansible and arguments. When you don't specify any inventory file, that is a default inventory file. When you don't specify any module, it is understood that it is a command module. Clear?
Yeah.
Perfect.
One more question, Sunil.
Yes.
Yeah. Once we install Ansible, we have installed Ansible on root. If
you have installed Ansible on
root.
What
right?
root?
On the root file system, correct?
Generally, software should be installed on root file
correct.
system only.
So
No, there's
if there is one directory created and we install Ansible in it, then I hope the inventory path will change.
No. Always it will be on root only.
Why I asked this question? I read one book that 435. It says that it has multiple inventories.
So that is nothing but multiple inventory files.
Yeah, multiple. It creates one in etc. That is a default one, and there are other inventory files also created where Ansible gets installed.
Yes. Okay. It's up to you whether which inventory file you want to use it. Generally, it will be always on root. And Anuj, always Ansible will be done only once, that is on root only. Okay. So /etc/Ansible/host, that will be the default location of the default inventory file.
Understood.
And if you want to configure your own machines, create your own inventory file according to your inventory, define it. Okay. This default inventory file will always be in the root etc Ansible, that's the host file. Okay.
But in short, once Ansible is created, it will create only one host file. If you install it on root, it will be created in etc Ansible host. If you install it somewhere else, it will create inventory file in that particular location.
But generally it will be on root only.
And for running Ansible commands, we don't have to go to inventory file path. We can run it on root or any path.
Yes, you can do that. Okay. But for custom inventory file, you have to mention the path.
Right. For custom, if I create it somewhere else.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Shell module. Shell module is not only for shell scripting, isn't it? Whenever you have to use redirection, whenever you want to run some Linux commands which includes redirection, then also the shell command is used. There's one more example. Just to make yourself comfortable. So this is getting executed and then it has been run it on all the 3 nodes. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Next, let's discuss about user module. By looking at the name, Anuj, you can easily guess what user module can perform. User management.
Right.
Creating users, removing users, defining the home directories, isn't it? All this can be done by using user module. Okay. Before showing you about user module, just let's spend some time how to create new user in Linux. We have a user add command which helps you to create a new user. Okay, this is the first time. So what happens when you write a user add command which helps you to create a new user in Linux? User got created. Next, I want to define the password for this user. Okay, sudo password follows the username. What is the username you have created? SAI. So when you define this, you can define the password for this particular user. Password, I'm writing it as ABCD. ABCD. So I have created user for one command. I have defined the password for that particular user using a different command. Okay. Now, next point. How to see list of all the users, Anuj, in Linux? Sai is one user, right?
Right.
Similarly, there can be a number of users. Ubuntu is one user. How to see list of users? Any idea? The list of users information will be available in a /etc in a file called as password file.
Passwd.
Okay. Passwd is a file, or in also a password file will contain the information about list of all the users, the corresponding home directories, the corresponding user ID. You can comment a particular user. The complete information will be available in the /etc/password file. I just want to show you.
Right.
So this is the user. One user is root, one user is daemon, bin is one user. These are all predefined users.
Right.
You have created one user. I can see at the bottom, Sai is a user which you have created. This is the user ID. This is the home directory. Got it?
Right.
Okay. So in Linux, all the user, the moment you create a user, which file gets updated? The password file will be updated, which is there in the etc directory.
Right.
Okay. This is in Linux. Now, Anuj, I want to create a user in node 1, node 2, node 3. Can we do it?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Let's try. Ansible all, M stands for module. You have to explicitly mention user because the default module is command module. Arguments, name of the user is Anu, the password is Sunil. So what happens when I do this? The user gets created in node 1, node 2, and node 3. That should happen. And the response, we should get it in what color? Yellow color.
Yellow color.
The response, we are getting it in red color. Red color indicates that the command has been failed. Okay. And then you're getting a response saying that permission denied. Okay. Okay. Now what? Okay. Why the permission has been denied? Because whenever user gets created, technically in Linux, the file should get updated. Which file will be updated? The passwd file will be updated. How can passwd file can be updated? Only that file is having write permission to others. Ansible is others, right? Some other external software.
Right.
So Ansible there should be write permission to others so that the file can be written by others. Okay, right. So that's the reason we are not having, the command is not getting executed. In Linux, when you don't have privileges or permissions, we can forcefully run a command by using sudo. Isn't it, Anuj?
Right.
In the same way, you can run a command by force by using -b for stands for become. The same command, when you end with -b option, B stands for become. That means this command gets executed as a root user. Okay. Okay. Right. The same command, previously we're getting a message called permission denied.
Escalated privileges.
Escalated privileges, as if like something you can compare it sudo. What's the response? Yellow. User created in node 1, node 2, and node 3. Perfect. Clear? Right. So right. The new thing what we have learned is B for become for higher privileges.
But for this, Ansible should have this privilege in the controller and other nodes.
Is having the privilege. Okay. So I want to create, let's look at one few more examples. I want to create a user. The name of the user is Ravi. The password which I want to provide to this user is some password, and I want to give my own user ID 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to comment a user. Okay. So, and then I want to define my shell terminal for my user. All this can be done. User management can be done using which module? Obviously, Anuj?
User module. Right.
So one more example of user module, which helps you to perform user creations in the nodes.
Ansible made that you remember only few things and do a lot of administration tasks. The rest is up to module.
Done. Yep. I don't need to verify. Okay. You don't need to verify. User definitely got created. Shall we verify?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Shall we verify? Let's verify. Copy. I'm picking up one node randomly. I go to a particular node. How to verify user is created or not? That user information should be available in passwd file.
Passwd file.
Now go to passwd file. That what is a user? You can see the Ravi was a user. Scroll down. Is the user available in the node? Yes.
Yes.
No doubt. The moment you're getting in yellow color, you don't need to worry. I want to install Git. Whenever you want to install some software, package management, APT module. APT module is used whenever you want to install some software. So I want to install Git. Ansible all module is nothing but APT module. Name equal to Git.
Yep.
State equal to present. State equal to present means install B for
install. Escalated privilege.
Yes. So let's do that. Okay, we are in the node. We are not. We should come back to controller.
Controller.
Yes. Now we are come back to controller. This is the first time you are experiencing green color. Yellow color is successfully executed and made some changes. Red color if it is failed. Green color, that means command has been, it's not failure. Command has been executed, but it has not made any changes in the node because Git is already installed. Those nodes are already installed with Git. So there's the reason change it equal to false. You're not getting any error. My dear friend, the command is successfully executed. No changes in the node, and change it equal to false is proving that the command has no change in the node. Observation, change it equal to false. It means Git is already installed. The command has no effect on the nodes. Whenever you're getting green color, that means there is no effect on the node. So what I want to do, can I uninstall it? Yes, state equal to apps present for installation of software. State equal to absent for uninstallation of software. If Git is already installed, I will uninstall it.
Right.
Now you will get it in which color if you uninstall it? Anuj?
Yellow color, obviously.
Yellow color. Because software is there and we are uninstalling the software, made some changes. The command has made some changes. You're getting it in yellow color. Perfect. Okay. Clear?
Right.
Can I install it again? State equal present.
Yep.
Now we'll get it in which color, Anuj?
Yeah. Yellow color.
Again, yellow color. So state equal to, let's wait. Done. Okay. So state equal to present for installation of packages. State equal to latest if you want to upgrade the packages from lower version to higher version. State equal to absent for uninstallation of packages. I'm very clear. Okay.
Right.
Now here I am installing it without updating the repository. This is an example. I've just installed the package without updating the repository. Now what I want to do, I want to install Tomcat 8 in node 1, node 2, node 3. I want to install Tomcat 8. Very good. Okay, no doubt APT module, but I have to update the repository. This option you have to use it. Update cache equal to yes. When you do this, what will happen? The APT repository will be updated, and then whatever the package you have mentioned, Tomcat 8 will be installed in node 1, node 2, and node 3. Why it's taking time? Because the repository should be updated in all nodes, right?
All nodes.
Yeah. Is it interesting?
I hope there is one more option. I hope verbose where we can see what's going in background.
Yeah.
Sunil, one option here. Yep. For example, if when we run any kind of installation,
yellow color.
Yep, successful.
Successful in all the 3 nodes. Okay.
Perfect.
Sorry. Let's wait for the prompt. Yes, Anuj.
So actually what happens when all these machines are connected to internet, that is why when I run it, they are fetching things and updates, softwares and everything and pulling it and installing it. That's perfectly okay. Sometimes we don't have this privilege in production environment. We have created a different file, maybe an NFS file in one of my system and exported it and mounted it on all my servers.
Okay.
And I want to, for example, there is one server. Let's take an example. The controller machine has one particular file system, which has all repository and softwares dumped in it. And I have mounted this particular file system NFS on all my machines. I want to install a package which is present in this particular repository. Reason being, sometimes customer do not allow us to their production machines get visible and firewall port open to these kind of sites. No internet connections.
The first point, Anuj, controller is communicating to server.
Machines.
Right? Node.
Right.
Let's say controller is communicating to node 1. Is it through internet?
No, it's internal.
It is internal communication, internal IP addresses. Okay.
Right.
So if a controller wants to communicate to one particular node or group of nodes, it does not need an internet connection to connectivity.
Correct.
Okay. So that's very clear, right?
No, but question is different. Controller can connect it, controller can execute it, but the server 1, server 2, and server 3, they all are fetching Git and other softwares from internet sites.
Let's say for example, your question is, let's say you want, let's say there's some files in the GitHub repository.
Right.
There is some files in the GitHub repository. Now I am understanding your questions. You have to download those files. The GitHub repository is external, isn't it?
Exactly.
Okay. So you want to download that files into server 1, server 2, server 3.
Server 3.
Okay.
Right.
For security reasons, your client is not allowing you to have external access to the external networks.
Right.
Isn't it?
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Yes. So specific to Git, I'm showing an example of Git. Specific to Git, you can handle it by using a special module called Git module. Okay. So to overcome this problem, we have a special module called Git module. Okay. Git module for cloning the repositories. Whenever you want to download some files, make sure that available is that those, especially source code, these kind of scenarios, you'll get it especially for source codes or some special files, Anuj.
Right.
Make sure that files are available in the GitHub repository. GitHub repository is storage location. Whatever you want it in node 1. Make sure that is available in the GitHub repository. When you have that available in the GitHub repository, Ansible can manage it. Okay. Nice.
So normally I ask this question, reason being, when patching a server, we need, in order to patch Red Hat servers, we need satellite server, and satellite is licensed and costly. So customer always want to just cost saving.
Do not use licenses.
Right.
I don't want to use
so
licenses.
What we did, but this is failing in my environment. It's partially successful. Actually, we have one infrastructure server. Infrastructure. Remember, participant, this is for everybody because most of the folks are handling production environment. So all my production servers, they are not connected to Red Hat site. Reason being, customer is not allowing all production server to talk to Red Hat site or over internet. I have one server here with me. This is my infrastructure server, and this server is registered to Red Hat portal. Since it is infra server, it is allowed, but rest of the machines are not allowed. So we have created a repo sync directory. That's why I'm saying repo sync is nothing but we have downloaded all the packages here, right away in
GitHub.
Not in
similar,
GitHub. There is one. Yeah, similar to GitHub. There is one particular file that's repository, reposync. So reposync file is nothing but 50-60,000 packages. They are downloaded, and we install it via yum update and the name. But for running this command, I have to mount this particular repository on all the servers. So we can obviously mount it and on a particular MNT or a particular path. Mounting is done successfully, maybe it via through Ansible or manual. That's understood.
Yeah, mounting can be done.
Right. Now I want to yum install and run this. Right. But this particular thing is failing in my environment. We're not able to drill it down.
Okay. Probably you have to use yum repository.
Yum
module. Okay.
Yum module.
Yes.
I'll try it, but maybe you can proceed
to have yum module. So today we have just now done with the APT module, right? So just replace with yum module. Anyways, in the modules list,
that's why,
have you seen in the modules list we have yum also? So immediately after APT, I have discussed about yum module. So try to check the syntax of yum module and try to experiment it. Okay.
Thank you, Sunil.
So you look at the response. We have installed Tomcat 8 in all the nodes. Okay. And then the moment you're getting in yellow color, that is first point of confirmation. You don't need to doubt it, and you don't need to doubt it. Is it running on all the 3 machines or not? Perfectly, it will run it on all the 3 machines. So we have updated the repository and installed Tomcat 8. Okay.
Right.
Yes, Maheshwara.
I think I haven't raised my hand. Probably, I think.
Okay. Sai Varun.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, actually, there is no doubt, sir, but to share one information of raised my hand, sir.
Yeah, please tell me.
Sir, I have recently got an internship opportunity on DevOps.
You got?
An internship opportunity, sir.
Internship. Very
Yeah,
good.
sir.
Very good.
On Git and Jenkins.
Very good. Git and Jenkins. So, are you doing your academics? I mean,
yeah, sir. I'm in my final years.
Final year. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
sir.
how did you got this opportunity? Did you place your resume or did you forward your resume to anybody?
Through Internshala, sir.
Through Internshala. Okay.
Yeah,
you
sir.
have uploaded your resume in Internshala?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir.
Okay. So, you got a call?
Yeah, sir. I've got a call.
So, did they take any technical round?
Yeah, sir. They've asked about what is load balancer in AWS and what is auto scaling group and how can you manage the multi-branch
multi-branch pipeline.
Yeah, sir.
In Jenkins.
Yeah, sir. On these these are the questions that they have asked.
Okay, that's it. You are able to handle.
Yeah, sir.
Okay, are you happy?
Yeah, sir.
Which company it is?
Sir, I haven't noticed it yet, sir.
Okay, fine. All the best. Okay. You are in final year and you got the internship. You take. So is it? I think you have to work from home anyways, isn't it? Because of
yes,
the COVID?
Yes.
Okay, so but good opportunity rather than generally BTech final academic projects will be in-house or local, which is not having much importance. But here, yeah, from which college and university?
Sir, from SCSVM University, Kanchipuram.
Kanchipuram, Tamil Nadu.
Yes, sir, but my native is Kadapa.
Okay. Good, Sai Varun. Okay, good news.
Even all my friends are like attracted towards your training, so AWS training.
Okay. So you take the best of this opportunity to, project yourself in the internship, so that once the internship is completed, probably there are good chances that you may be pulled to that company. Okay. Stay focused and hard work will always give you result.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all and see you tomorrow. So we are done with the agenda for today's session. So we have discussed about how to create new inventory file, what is working with shell module, user module. We have discussed about package management. Remember the last example, what we have done is we have installed Tomcat 8 in node 1, node 2, node 3. Because the continuation tomorrow's session is on top of Tomcat 8. So we'll be learning something more. How can we change the port number of Tomcat 8 and how can we create user? So continuation related examples, we'll discuss it in a tomorrow's session. So please do hands-on and make yourself comfortable with experiencing the concept of Ansible. Bye everybody and see you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.